back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. I'm wearing the Window Nation hat. I'm not dealing cards out here. We're dealing crab cakes. It's the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It's all presented by our friends at Window Nation, where my windows went in today. Our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I'm giving some scratch-offs away, some $10,000 scratch-offs. Doing that all month long on the Maryland Crab Cake and Brewery Tour. Goodwill is involved with jobs as well as sponsoring what we're doing here, as well as the Restaurant Association of Maryland. And we're in a restaurant, and they're associated, and they do crab cakes. I've been to Barrett's many, many times. Anybody in Hunt Valley, very familiar on the backside of the Hunt Valley Town Center. Fantastic lunch place, incredible soup, crab, corn, chowder. I've had so many things there. And when my wife got cancer a number of years ago, John stepped up to help our family, hosted us with some events, did different things. And since then, Glendon Grill, Barrett's on the Pike, where we kicked off the tour last year with Barry Glassman up in Bel Air. Anybody in Bel Air knows about that. Today, we are at a place that's been named something else as long as I can remember. We're at the Full Moon Pub and Grill. Indoor, outdoor, we're outdoor. Couldn't be any hotter out here, John Linderman.
Not at all.
John is the general manager and is our great host out here today. We're hanging out, talking about Reisterstown, talking about being around here, but man, you're no stranger to like Reisterstown or to this community or where you are, Glendon, and really what John's put together here over the last decade and a half. This is sort of the newest acquisition, but probably the oldest property, right?
Absolutely. You nailed it. I've been with John for a number of years, pushing 8 years now. Been up at Barrett's, been working down at Glendon, and now the Full Moon. And then, of course, as you mentioned, up in Bel Air, we have Barrett's on the Pike. But, yeah, now we have 4 restaurants in our portfolio. We've got a catering facility called Ace Catering. This one here we bought about a year ago. It's the Full Moon Pub. A little bit different style for us, as you know, with Barrett's.
Well, this has a reputation and a real history. I mean,
absolutely.
Everybody's had a memory here. I've had several. I think I told you I interviewed Todd Heap right over in that space about 2006, 2007, and there were swinging chairs out here.
Uh-huh.
It was when I came in, Jimmy Buffett was playing, but it was a Buffett hang on the highway, literally.
Absolutely. And prior to what's interesting is prior to Full Moon, it was called the Forest Inn. So I get a lot.
What was that?
It was a very
country inn kind of.
It was kind of, from what I understand, it was kind of an upscale dinner place. A lot of people still recall memories of coming here for proms, dates, engagements.
It's a place to get a lobster and a steak?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they had the dining room, and they did not have the deck at the time. This building's been here forever, and I'm still trying to learn the history of it. So if there's any viewers that you have out there that know more of the history, prior to Forest Inn, there was some
Now, I knew Cal Bittner. Did you know Cal?
I did not know Cal. Big shoes to fill, though. Because
let me tell you what, man. I came out here. I met Cal on this deck. Steps used to come up this way. And I met Cal out here, and he was this strapping – he looked 62, 64.
Right.
He was in his 80s when I met him.
Right.
I mean, and he was a guy that just you could tell worked with his hands.
Yep.
Everybody loved him. Everybody revered him. You know what I mean? Like Cal
People
Bittner.
still talk about Cal when they come in here.
Cal Bittner was a legend,
Yeah.
you know, and I mentioned his name to you. I think it brought me a little credibility. You're like, how do you know him? Well,
Right.
I've been doing this 31 years. I mean,
Right.
it's my business to know business owners.
Absolutely.
And you remember the memorable ones. You really do. You know what I mean? In a really good way, because I'm a work ethic guy. I'm a hard working. I don't know that I ever met anybody that worked harder than him.
Yeah,
when I came out, he had a vision. He just loved this place.
And,
he really did.
and I heard he has other places around, and just Cal's name still years after he wasn't here any longer, because his wife was running it when we bought it. People still talk about Cal. So, like I said, big shoes to fill, but we're happy to be here now.
Well, everybody's heard of it. What was it and what is it? Like, because everybody's, let's be honest, it's a little treacherous coming to South Bend. You want people to slow down and get in here safely. And people are jerks, right? I mean, you get a tailgater behind you.
Sure.
But everybody knows this. It's iconic. I mean,
Absolutely.
literally. For Ravens fans driving to Boggers and driving out to Westminster for the years that we actually did that, it's sort of a landmark as you go into the park.
No, everybody knows Full Moon. If you say Full Moon, it really is surprising to me how many people know of this location. I was up at Glendon, like you and I were talking about, which is really only like 4 minutes away, 5 minutes away.
But you got to find it.
You have to find it. But still, even Glendon Grill's kind of up there, and we're down here, and it's still like two separate countries almost. People like at Glendon, not a whole lot of people knew about Full Moon, and Full Moon a lot of people don't know about Glendon. So I'm kind of trying to cross promote both restaurants because we're literally 4 minutes away from each other. But it's like
Menu similar?
well, Glendon is going to be more of a neighborhood tavern type menu, little bit more upscale. We are definitely more of a bar, pub, restaurant bar type.
I was in
atmosphere.
Glendon the night you guys opened.
Yeah.
I got invited to the opening up there.
That's
Went
cool.
up there. I think Kevin Byrne was there that night because he was a Glendon resident. And I did some book sales across the street. There's a great Maryland heritage store.
Yep.
Black Eyed Susan?
Black Eyed Susan.
There you go. All right.
Very good friends of ours over there. They
Beautiful
they do a great
people.
job.
They sold a lot of copies of Purple Rain 2 back in the day, and I sat up there during Christmas and Father's Day signing books and whatnot. So I'm very familiar with Glendon Grill and familiar with this and wondered, like, how would you put the Barrett's touch on the, and I'm getting the Barrett's crab cake today, right?
We are.
Now, I've had that crab cake for years. I love your crab cake.
Yeah, they're very good. Well, I'll tell you, I think this is how we put the touch on it. This is a much different venue for us. You're familiar with them. But our commitment to food, our commitment to service, our commitment to taking care of our customers, our guests, is going to remain the same. One of the things that we've worked on here is we've created a new menu. We've kept some of the old favorites from Full Moon. The Angry Bird sandwich for an example, was a holdover. People love it. We do a Maryland-style crab soup here, whereas the other stores do more of that cream of crab that you had mentioned.
I love that cream of crab.
Which, by the way, I will endorse with you. It's the greatest cream of crab soup I've ever had.
I don't know if it's award-winning, but if it's not, then there needs to be an award for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's such a thing as an award for cream of crab. You call it a chowder, right? It's got a sherry.
There's sherry in it. We don't call it a chowder. We call it a cream of crab soup, but it's definitely cream-based. Jumbo lump crab meat. We've been serving that, and in the other 3 locations we serve it all the time. And to be honest with you,
so I come to the place that doesn't have it. Now you're gonna make me hungry for it.
I'm gonna make you go to Glendon. I'm gonna make you go there for that and come here for the other stuff.
Hey, I'm going to the BC Brewery. That's my brewery tonight, closer to home. So I'm right down the street.
I love BC Brewery.
Tell me about it, because I haven't been there.
You've never been?
No, tonight. Part of the brewery, and to full disclosure, like I've known John forever, and I haven't done the crab cake tour in Barrett's yet. We did it at Barrett's on the Pike because I wanted a new place and a good place and a friendly place in Bel Air. But one of the reasons I did this was when industry went away and COVID happened, I was like, I want to help friends that have helped me. My wife was battling for her life, and John really stepped up in a really cool way to help us, and in just a lot of ways, because my wife's worked near the Barrett's in Hunt Valley. That was 8 years ago, and I think through all of this sports, business, I see Oriole stuff in here. I know he's a fan of the burgundy and gold. Where did you grow up on the other side?
I grew up down in Rockville, Bethesda area, yeah.
I used to call that south of the border. I used to say Columbia, once you hit like 175 and 32, everything south there was burgundy and gold,
Absolutely,
right? But you're an Orioles fan, though, right?
I am an Orioles fan.
Everybody there of your age
because we didn't have
right?
a baseball team when I was a kid in Washington, so that really the only thing we had was
Brooks
the Redskins.
and Cal and Eddie were yours, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you say I'm a fan of the burgundy and gold. I have to qualify that. I'm definitely a diehard Redskins fan, and we'll see how the Commanders do. But you were talking about the brewery.
Yeah, well, doing this thing with business and how it relates to sports and sports bars and where crab cakes. Everybody's competitive about their crab cake.
Sure they are.
And I know you would say, I'll put mine up against anybody.
I
right?
will.
Literally.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. But you know what? Everybody in Maryland's going to put their crab cake up against anybody's, right? Because it's a Maryland thing. But I will put our crab cake up against anybody.
Right. And I said when I call places and say, I want to promote your crab cake, you're going to run out here, serve it to me, and say, here's a fork, here's a sandwich, here's some brioche, get after it. I think every chef feels that way about everything. And Barrett's, to me, what was the name of Barrett's before? For 5 minutes, it was something else where they had the wine lockers and
Greystone Grill.
Greystone Grill.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, so it opened at Greystone. And when Barrett's took over, I thought, this is what Hunt Valley needs.
Absolutely.
Like, I really felt like it was an upscale, but not too, it wasn't pretentious.
Correct.
It was really a welcoming, but a really, really high-end caliber of meal. When I would go somewhere special for lunch or for dinner, I would go to Barrett's.
Well, the thing, a little bit of history on Barrett's is when John took it over from Greystone was very, very expensive. Very expensive. And John took it over and wanted to keep all the elements but make it more affordable to people. And he did. And he introduced some new items up there. The first things that went in was our French dip. The cream of crab soup is there. And so over time, the other thing that John did is he got out and spoke to all of the guests.
Did you decide? That's what I always would order. I
What?
always order the French dip.
It's great.
And I always order the cream of crab soup.
Yeah. Those are our two
And
signature
corn.
items.
Don't forget the corn. There's always corn in it.
Yeah.
Those are your signatures.
Absolutely. Every time I talk to a guest at Barrett's or at Glendon or at Barrett's on the Pike, I talk about our French dip and I talk about our soup. So an interesting story, you said about stories. So we came over here, which is completely a different look and feel for our company, as you know. But I love the French dip, right? So we got over here and, we're kind of messing with the menu, having some fun with it. And I'm in the kitchen one day and it dawns on me, we make French onion soup here every day. And I really liked that French dip. So we grilled a burger, and we took some of the onions from the French onion soup, and we put it on top of the burger, and then we melt the cheese on top, and it's on a ciabatta bun. We serve a little cup of the French onion soup, so you can
Cancel the crab cake. I'm going to get this.
So you can dip that right in that soup. It's fantastic.
My wife loves French onion soup.
Oh, we make a really good French onion soup. To be honest with you, in reference to Cal, that's his recipe. We kept that recipe.
Well, I mean, you keep good things. We're at the
Right.
Full Moon Grill, Full Moon Pub, I should say, and Grill. We call this Westminster Pike fully right here?
Yep,
Is
sure do.
the first 100 yards of the Westminster Pike, kind of sort of, right?
Correct, yeah.
Down at the bottom of the hill, if you've been out here, they used to do rock and roll out here. This is sort of an iconic deck space.
It is.
And so you take this over. This isn't that upscale,
No.
Greystone Grill sort of vibe. And I think Glendon's a little bit more accessible, but it feels like Barrett's.
Sure.
And I think Barrett's on the Pike felt like Barrett's, but felt more Bel Air, open air
Right.
bar where
A little
there's
more
light.
contemporary.
Yeah, a little more light in the front.
Yep.
It's in a plaza more
Yep.
like Glendon is.
Yep.
This is its own animal. This is an old farmhouse, man.
This
This
is-
is 1860s, when was this built?
Early 1900s.
Okay, so it's
1920s, I'm thinking.
100 years old.
Somewhere
Okay.
in there.
Looks
But
like it could have been built in the 1800s. It really does.
This is a baseball cap, T-shirt, shorts type place. We do live music on Friday nights still, 7 to 10:30.
Rob Fahey will be out
He
here
will.
singing
He
Raised
will.
on the Radio.
I think we have a couple more times. We've got trivia on Thursday night, so later on tonight we'll have trivia here. So we're trying
So
to
it's a
keep that same
bar and
vibe.
grill still, very much
Absolutely.
so. You're not turning it into Barrett's.
Absolutely not. This is a completely different feel for us. We want it to be very bar and restaurant
Why'd you
feel.
guys do this?
We wanted to have some fun. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to explore kind of a different type of look and feel for us, expand our portfolio a little bit, give us some different types of sales opportunities. Plus, we were able to buy the property. So we own this property now.
Well, so much is outdoor, right? Outdoor
Yeah.
dining. Run me through COVID a little bit because, I mean, I don't think carry out when I think Barrett's.
Right.
I think not necessarily special occasion, but when I want to go somewhere nice. I mean, literally, right?
Sure.
I mean, it could be special occasion,
Sure.
but it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? I would say in doing that and having that reputation, that's not what this is going to be. You're going to let this be what it's been. Then.
We're gonna kind of continue to keep the same vibe here, but we are going to, like I said, continue to give it the Barrett spin that people are used to in terms of service, commitment to food, fresh quality ingredients. But running you through COVID a little bit, and I'm glad you brought it up because I do kind of want to give a shout out to the Glendon folks and the Glendon community there. When COVID hit, it turned everybody on their ear. We didn't know what to do. So a lot of restaurants, tried to figure it out, and we went to carry-out service and home meal replacement and things of that nature. I was at Glendon at the time. The community at Glendon was unreal. The support that they gave that little restaurant and that little strip mall, I don't even
night
have words.
after night, they come by and grab a bag of food, look you in the eye. I remember
Absolutely.
for me, it really birthed Baltimore Positive because it was emotional for me. I mean, my friends
Yeah.
at Amici's, everybody knows how much I love Amici's. Man, I went over there one night, cold, lonely street, darkness, mask on, picking up some meatballs in a bag, and I had tears. I said, "You've got to be here when this it's over.
Yep.
You have to be here.
Yep.
Whatever we have to do, you have to.
Yep.
We can't have casualties above and beyond the casualties we already have.
And that's
right?
the way.
Literally.
That's the way our neighborhood was in Glendon.
That does not shock me at all.
I swear to God, it would bring a tear to my eye. These people that would just come in just to support us and say exactly what you said.
Here's $20 for your server.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
take care of her.
We want
Him.
you here.
They're my favorite server.
We want you here.
Right?
And we redid the whole restaurant. I mean, we were able to keep about 5 cooks employed at full time, some part time. We had about 5 or 6 servers that stepped up. We moved our phones all around the restaurant, and we were a carry-out place. The phone was ringing off the hook, and during the first 2 weeks, I would sit down with my staff every single night and say, what can we do better? How did this work? How did this not work? Kind of, because we had to reinvent our business.
Combat time, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
And, the staff was fantastic. The community was fantastic. And just, as we're on the air, I just want to let everybody know how how much Glendon helped support our restaurant. And the same thing happened up at Barrett's, and the same thing happened at Barrett's on
And
the
every
pike.
restaurant worth
You know,
its salt at a
absolutely,
community.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I think it was one of those things that was the first thing that got taken away, in addition to lacrosse season and
Sure.
sports and everything
Well,
else.
you know, because of sports.
But this is your Cheers, wherever your Cheers was,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
whatever your place was or your places, you knew at that moment, you know, I needed to be there. My Chinese place, whatever
Sure.
it is, right? Whatever your restaurant is, you want to support that. And I think that was, as divided as we are here, red and blue and east and west and all of that, that was one thing I think we all had in common. We all had a place
That is true.
we wanted to keep in business.
And the same thing kind of happened at Full Moon. There was that core group of people here that kept this business going, and we took over. You know, there was and still is this customer base that comes in here that just loves Full Moon and wants to see this business survive and grow and move forward, and I can't thank them enough. You know, this is a really cool place to come to and to work at because it is a little bit different. You know, we do a lot of cocktails. We do a lot of craft beer. We have 25 taps. We can kind of revisit your visit later on, but
you have Kushwa in there.
We do.
I'm going to the Kushwa Brewery.
You have to.
See,
Kushwa
I'd
is
never
fantastic.
heard of some of these places. Now, I mean, R.A.M. and Evolution and,
Right.
you know, Duclaw, Flying Dog, you know, the places where I go
Right.
into King Discount Liquors and I see the beer,
Sure.
or I go in and see a tap and say, oh, that's Monument or that's Union. They're
Right.
local. I haven't been to any of these places,
Oh.
like literally. And I had Hugh Sisson on. He was brewing a Ukrainian beer after the war started.
Yep.
And I did the crab cake tour. I knew Hugh, I've known him forever. I had a cancellation because of COVID on my crab cake tour. And I called him. I said, let's come out there and do this. He said, I'll get the Chow Hound. I get Patrick Russell. We'll bring you a crab cake. So I did Patrick's crab cake from the Chow Hound. And we sat and did 3 hours of conversation about beer, how to make it, the brewery, Sisson's, his wings down there on Cross Street a million years ago. And I just got inspired to say everywhere I went, I saw breweries, and it's such a Maryland. I had Ross Petticorder talking horse racing being such a Maryland thing.
It is.
Breweries have become a really Maryland thing.
Absolutely.
Whether, 1612, I'm going to be out in Eldersburg, 1623, excuse me. All over the state. Key in my hometown of Dundalk, we're going to be going there
Yep.
later on. Kushwa. Give me a little Kushwa. I'm going there this weekend. Hagerstown, right?
Kushwa's up in Hagerstown.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from Kushwa, I think, is a little another little brewery that opened. But Kushwa is making some really good beer. I mean, I honestly have to say that they're killing it up there. And they also have this little thing off the side where they do these pizzas. It's called Rad Pizza. They do a great job. Near us is Inverness Brewing. They're good friends of ours, Pharmacy Brewing.
I'm going there. I'm going
They're
to
great.
Pharmacy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be up at Rock Salt Grill in Westminster.
Okay.
Doing the show up there, and then I'm going to Pharmacy.
There you go.
2 weeks from Friday. So come on out if you're in Westminster.
When you go up to Pharmacy, please tell them John from Full Moon said hi, because they're great folks.
I was going to go tonight, but things moved around. Things got contaminated.
Sure.
My poor wife fell over and screwed her ankle up. So John Linderman's here. We are at Full Moon Pub and Grill. I'm outside. It's 100 degrees out. The highway's here. The bricks are here. The Jimmy Buffett music's here. The beer is cold. And look, the Barrett's crab cake has arrived. Is that coleslaw you did
That
for me
is. That's
there?
our homemade coleslaw.
My wife's going to like that. Now, listen, don't be offended, but I'm not going to eat all the fries. I'm going to have one.
I want you to have one because we make our fries here. We cut them ourselves. We blanch them. We cook them. I just wanted you to try
Well, it's the only
the
way
fries.
I'm going to do it because, and look at what he's doing here. See, this is the problem with the crab cake tour. I meet Greek people who make pastries. I meet Italian people who make pastries. I meet bar owners who make pastries. We're going to breweries where they make beer. I gained 12 pounds last August.
Yeah.
I got on a scale on August 2nd with my wife, and I got my hair dry. I was naked. I got everything, glasses off, hairband out, because I'm at playing weight right now. I know what my weight is. I weighed 150 pounds on the 2nd of August after I went to the bathroom. And I don't know what I'm going to weigh on September, let's say, 6th or 7th. But I can't gain weight like I did last year.
Look, at the end of the day, you're looking better than I am. But
I got it, but
they say never trust a skinny restaurant guy, right?
Well,
so you guys can trust me.
I already trust you. I'm eating your French fries.
All right, give that a
I
shot.
love fries, and I would eat them with every crab cake deserves a beer. But I'm trying to go lighter. It's the only French fry I'm going to eat all month. Sure.
You can't just eat one.
That's salty and delicious. That's boardwalky.
Yeah.
That's fresh cut.
We actually have a appetizer called Boardwalk Fries where we take those and we load them up with cheese, bacon, and then we put some scallion, sour cream, ranch
If I
dressing.
knew you better, I'd call you a dirty SOB because there's no way I can eat one.
I told you.
You know, it's like potato chips.
I told you.
I'm going to eat one more little one. It's a little one. All right. We're up here Full Moon. I've had this crab cake before, and I know how good it's going to be. Give me a little secret for Crab Cake Street because you're not a Baltimore guy. I'm
a Maryland guy.
Now, hang on a second. I want to be fair about this because I went all over the state and I did the research last year. East Baltimore crab cake, very different than an Eastern Shore crab cake. Very, very different than an Anne Arundel County crab cake. I found that the further south I went, like in southern Maryland, it was more crab houses than Gucci crab cakes haven't made their way to Solomon's in that way. You know, they make them the way they used to make them.
Absolutely.
My mother made them like, I always say, like hockey pucks. We were poor. We had claw or special meat. My mom J.O.'d it, and she celery seeded it, and she mayonnaise and mustard the hell out of it, seasoned it, Worcestershire, all that stuff to give it more flavor. When you have these kinds of jumbo lumps that I'm finding here, less can be more when it comes to seasoning.
That's the secret to ours.
Less is more.
Less is more. Very, very little binder in there, just enough to kind of hold it together.
Well, I'm having 31 of these in 31 days. I'm going to one place that I went to last year because it was really good. And it's on the Eastern Shore. It's a place called Suicide Bridge. So shout out to you, Hurlock, Maryland. But this is a crab cake I've had before. There aren't many this month I'm doing that with.
Okay.
So I already know this is going to be creamy and sweet.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's the profile of this.
You're right.
Creamy, sweet, not mayonnaisey, not mustardy. Very, very sweet crab forward.
Mm-hmm. You should just write our description on our menu for us.
Not Chesapeake Bay seasoning, forward. I'm not going to taste it. So it's not like an East Baltimore crab. It's more, I call this, no offense, because I'm eating all of these. I have to start naming them. The Pimlico crab cake, I call that more of a country club crab cake.
Okay.
Like, if you Google country club recipe, I call this the country club recipe. So is that fair?
It's fine. Let's see what you taste.
All right. It's really sweet. First thing is sweet. A little crunch. It's just sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
That's all I would say, sweet.
Yep. It's got a little bit of Old Bay in there because we're in Maryland and everybody does Old Bay.
But it's not forward.
We want the crab to shine through on that. We want the sweetness of the crab to shine through on that.
The slurry's everything.
Yeah.
It really is. And you say anybody that doesn't put binder in, the first thing you say is we don't put a lot of binder.
I was just going to bring that up.
I like breading. I'm not offended by a little if it's slurried right, prepared right. I love a fried crab cake.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like it. I had a beautiful fried crab cake from Soul Cuisine last night. We went down to Ministry of Brewing. You been there?
I have. Really neat venue, isn't it?
Wasn't unbelievable?
Really neat venue.
That's a place when I went with my wife, I'm like, we're coming back here.
Right.
Inverness is going to be that way, right?
Well, what a cool place to get married in, right? You get married at Ministry of Brewing, and then you don't need to go anywhere. You got the whole backdrop.
I trained as a Judas priest.
Huh?
I trained as a Judas priest.
Did you? Well, there you go.
Maybe I could be the dude.
Now you got another.
John Linderman's here. This crab cake, so you gave me two. Does this mean my wife's getting to carry out tonight? She tripped and hurt her ankle. We're welcoming Window Nation into our place, and they're putting the windows in.
Yeah.
So my wife was getting all of the blind things out to make room. Tripped, fell, rolled her ankle right before we're going hiking in Western Maryland. So the Barrett's crab cake, the Full Moon crab cake will soothe her. Tell you what, man. You want this crab cake, you don't have to go to Barrett's up in Hunt Valley or Glendon anymore. You come over here to Full Moon. And tell me what else is on the menu.
Try the slaw.
Okay, sure.
Now, that is different than our other restaurants. That is a Full Moon slaw.
I don't recognize this. So this was cow slaw or different for you?
Very similar to cow's. We tweaked the recipe just a little bit.
This has got like a lot of carrots. Cut a little different.
Yep.
Cut a little more fine.
Chop,
cut them a little more like Chick-fil-A used to do it.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Hopefully better.
It's not Julie. What do you call it? Diced?
It's more of a chop.
Chop? Okay.
Yep. That's sweeter.
Really, I taste sweetness in that too, but it's very carrot forward. I like carrots.
Yeah. Well, carrots by nature are sweet, so there's not a whole lot that we need to do to that.
Now, my Aunt Jane, God bless her soul, God rest her, she would say there's only one way to go to crab cake. French fries, coleslaw. And there's one thing missing here. Crackers.
Yep.
You want crackers.
A lot of folks here will order it with crackers, which we're happy to do. And we also serve it as a sandwich, as you know.
And the old folks might want some mustard.
Yep.
There's regular mustard to serve with it as a side.
Absolutely.
But I find that to be, Fadley's does the mustard style crab cake. almost no one else does a mustard forward
Okay.
crab cake. This is not mustard forward at all. It's
No,
a
not at all.
completely different crab cake, completely different profile. Maryland's like that, like where it's hard to find a bad crab cake in Maryland, and there's so many great recipes. But I love your crab cake, man.
Thanks.
And
We're pretty proud of it.
I would recommend it to anyone. You serve tartar. This is homemade tartar.
Yep.
I think a tartar for fish sticks, and I say that all the time.
Right.
I've had some of the most creative remoulades, and I grew up with cocktail sauce because we grew up poor. We
Sure.
had, fried crab cakes, dip it in some cocktail sauce, get a little bite from that horseradish on
right.
there. That's the way I ate crab cakes as a kid. As an adult, I like them in any way, but I don't love tartar sauce, but I love capers.
Right.
And I think a complex tartar sauce can be complimentary, but I can live without it.
I like to have just a little bit on the side.
I
don't
try
want-
to be polite.
Go ahead.
I mean, I do. I mean, I may like say, nah, I just don't like tartar sauce because I would put it on like a fillet of fish. You know what I mean? Like when I think of tartar sauce, that's what I think of.
Sure. Well, let's see what you think.
All right, here we go. Well, it's definitely homemade. That's fresh. I taste that sort of pickly edge on it.
Yep.
The pickle edge
You
on
got
that.
it.
I mean, it's better than tartar sauce out of a can, but I don't love tartar.
Right.
But I would eat that. That's a good tartar.
Yeah. I mean, I
Lemony, little lemony.
Little lemon in there,
Lemony
yeah.
in there. I got the lemon. Delicious. Come on out, man. What is
Please,
that?
come out.
Hold on.
All right. So
I'll hold the crab cake up and tell
just-
everybody come on out here and have a good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to surprise you.
What is this?
This is our strawberry shortcake.
Oh, my dad's
Fresh
favorite.
strawberries. We use a brown butter cake. Serve it warm with the strawberries on top, and that's our homemade whipped cream. I don't think you'll find any better, and I can't wait to see you try that. So I just wanted to surprise you and bring out something else. Hit the little sweet
Everybody's
tooth at the
doing
end.
this every day. Just a little French fry.
Just a little.
One little giant slab of strawberry shortcake.
Right.
Well, I tell you, for me, dessert is my weakness.
Make sure you get
I
that
love
cake. There you
ice
go.
cream. I love complex desserts, and more than I was a chocolate guy as a kid. I'm very fruity these days.
Yeah.
I begin every day. Peach season. I get peach cake 3 days a week. My wife and I are either at Fenwick or Woodley this time of year.
Right.
Getting fresh peach cake because it's
Nice.
gone.
Well, I was going
4
to bring
weeks
you
now,
out.
it's gone.
I was going to bring you out a peach cobbler, which we make here as well, but I decided to defer.
Well, I've
to
had
this.
peaches 3 times today already.
Right.
I literally have. Oh, man.
I'm telling you, right?
That's delicious, man.
Yeah.
How am I going to lose weight this month? You guys are going to kill me.
You're doing just fine.
How's John doing? Give
He's
me a little
doing
update.
great. He's doing great. We're working on, obviously, fall's coming up, so we're going to work on some menus. We got Restaurant Week menus coming up. We're working on our catering facility.
Talk about Restaurant Week a little bit because in addition to Goodwill, our dear friends at the Maryland Lottery who are sponsoring all this and our friends at Window Nation, Restaurant Association Maryland, Marshall Weston, I invited him today. He's going to come out a little later on in the month. He's been on vacation, but they work year-round, and
Right.
you've been a restaurateur forever.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
these groups get together to try to stimulate business.
Absolutely.
And so this is September 16th to the 25th. Kids are back in school. Things
Yep.
might be a little slower. Monday Night Football ain't what it used to be. They run through Restaurant Week because it's every restaurant makes a big deal. They show off.
We love Restaurant Week, and I'm sure most restaurant guys and gals would say the same thing. Restaurant Week gives us an opportunity to show off, gives us an opportunity to give the guest a little bit of value. It's kind of our way to give back to the guest a little bit with prefix menus. But it's also
Is this on it?
That will be.
Okay.
But we
You're
also
coming here.
we also put some new items on there. Those kind of sometimes we'll test some things on Restaurant Week to see if they'll make the menu. So we'll showcase some new things, let the chefs get a little bit more creative. Sometimes we'll just put fan favorites on there and give them a better price on it because we're prefixing the menu.
Well, you're getting an app, a super salad,
Sure.
you're getting a meal and a dessert.
Absolutely.
It's a night out. That's what Restaurant Week's come
Right.
on out. And it's been a couple of years. It's been hard.
It has.
It's been hard. I mean, especially when COVID started coming back again in these
Right.
falls, right?
Absolutely. I think this year is going to be a great Restaurant Week. And all of our restaurants are going to participate. So please come on out. Whether it's us, whether it's another restaurant, just support the industry, just support the servers, just support the community. Have a date night. Go out, enjoy it. We all are a big fan of it. We love doing that kind of stuff.
Don't eat the whole strawberry shortcake. Bring somebody to help you eat it. Don't make the mistake I'm making here. John Linderman, we're at Full Moon Pub and Grill. We're on the Westminster Pike. I mean, literally just at the foot of the hill. Break a little bit. Come on in, relax, sit out here on the grill on the deck, or excuse me, grill out on the deck, and listen. Jimmy Buffett, you always have Margaritaville playing here, right?
We have a lot of Buffett music that we play usually on the lower deck. Live music on Friday nights. Like I said, you can see this is our outside tiki bar. So we have 25 beers on tap. We do a lot of crushes. We have a lot of fun with cocktails. So here, it's kind of a blend between the bar, fun atmosphere, and the dining aspect of it too. And if you want something a little bit quieter, we do have a dining room on the other side that we can put people at. So we're trying to kind of cover all our bases. But this is a neat restaurant. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. We'll start working on the facility outside a little bit and kind of bringing a little bit back of life into the outside. But we're here. We would love to have you stop by. My name's John. Another manager's name is Teresa. We've got a great staff, very hospitable, really good group of people.
And ample free parking in the rear.
We
Come
do
on
have a
out
lot
here.
of parking.
Pull on in, say hello. My thanks to the Lottery, Goodwill, Window Nation, our friends at Restaurant Association. John and his crew been great out here as always. If you're up in Barrett's or you're at Glendon Grill or you're at Barrett's on the Pike, up in Bel Air, all in the Barrett's family, John represents the folks out here in their newest acquisition. And we're out on the Maryland Crab Cake Tour, making new friends at old places and new stops. We're going to be out in Western Maryland all weekend. I'm having a donut at Crumpy's Donuts in Hagerstown at 7 p.m. It's a donut joint that opens, get this, at 7 p.m.
That's smart.
So the line starts about 6:40.
That's
so
awesome.
We're going to be there. Mayor Emily Keller is going to be joining us in Hagerstown this weekend. Rocky Gap, Deep Creek, a big surprise on Tuesday. It's such a surprise I can't talk about it. If I talk about it, it wouldn't be a surprise. So we're going to do that on Tuesday. We're also going to be next week at LP Steamers for lunchtime. Got Max Weiss coming over from Baltimore Magazine talking Best of Baltimore. That's next Thursday. And then we are in Eldersburg with Dante Liberatori. We're also going to be in Ocean City at Mako. And we're also going to be at Rock Salt Grill in Westminster. Wes Moore joining us later in the month. Larry Hogan joining us later in the month. Got a confirmation today from Ben Cardin, who's going to be our senator, going to be joining us in Ocean City. Heather Mazier is going to be on. So going to be moving around the state. I'm trying to get some rock stars. My dude Tim Camp, the Slim Man's going to be joining me in Annapolis. I think that's on the 20th. I think John Allen from Trump City Devils and from Stone Horses is also going to be having a crab cake later on this month. So big month. Lots going on. 2 live shows this week. My thanks to everybody out here at Full Moon Pub. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking. Baltimore, positive. Stay with us.